Welcome to the Newton tutorial series. I'm Mike Cruz with AC-Tek, and in this tutorial I'm going to be showing you how to save single-frame playback files. So in the last few post-processing tutorials, we've been dealing primarily with the main UCM file, the main uncompressed data file that Newton creates when you run a simulation. And this file, as you can see, the one we've been dealing with, is over 20 gig in size. And that's much too big for us to be sending through the internet or sending to our clients or sharing with our boss. And we've already discussed creating animations, which is an incredibly powerful tool. Alongside creating animations, you can also create single frame playback files. And these will save just one frame of the simulation to its own file, and then you can send that back and forth rather than dealing with an animation or screenshots or the entire uncompressed data file. So how do we do this? Well, you just go to File, Save Playback Frame, or just click the green Save Playback Frame icon right here. So what you should understand is that the playback frame, when you save it, takes all of the current view settings. It takes the current camera view. It saves all of the saved views in here. It also saves all of your particle coloring, particle style, surface style, outline tolerance, clip planes. All of this data gets encoded to that frame. So the first thing you're going to want to do is set up a view that you want to share. So if I was sharing this file, I'd say, well, we want to get a nice lower, a little bit lower than isometric view. Okay, and I don't want wireframe mode. That's ugly, so I'm going to change that to transparent. And obviously we don't want a frame from time 0, we want a frame at full steady state, so we'll go to the end of the file. And I don't like this lumpy particle style, and we're going to do meshed, because meshed looks a lot cooler. Then, I guess lastly, I'm going to set up a clip plane, because I don't want my client to be looking at the particles in the Dropbox. They don't care about that, they just care about the shoot. So let's go ahead and say hide data inbox, everything, and we'll set our bounds. There. So if I go ahead and show that box, there's my clip plane box that I just set up. Now, let's get back to that view. You know, I can even see there's this extra line here that I don't want. We're going to increase the outline tolerance and get rid of that. There we go. Perfect. That's the frame I want to send. But you know what? I'm going to go ahead and save this. I'm going to save that as my main ISO view, but I also want to do a front view here. So let's, well, maybe I want to adjust that like that. Set view 2, so that'll be front. And maybe I also want to do a side view here. So I'm going to rotate by 90 degrees and set up a nice side. So now I'm looking at the back side. There's my back plate and my rock box. So let's go view 3, and we'll call that back. But the first frame I want them to see is the ISO. So we'll go to that, and we'll go save. And we'll save it as test.playback file. So now if I look at that, I can see that, where is it? That's less than 2 megabytes in size. So if I grab my calculator really quick, what was that? That's 1.8 over 21,653 times 100. Alright, so this file is 0.008% the size of that initial file. That's a tiny, tiny file. And certainly, if we wanted to, we could try and say, well, can I compress this even more? What if I take my best compression with WinRAR and try and make it smaller? Oh, didn't even decrease by 1%. The algorithm that we have encoded, that we have used to encode this data frame, makes it as small as it's going to get. So you might as well just attach this directly to your email. So when we open up these playback files, let me just grab another copy, another instance of Newton, and we'll go ahead and open that in a second. There we go. Open, test. And as soon as it loads in a second here. There we go. So if I look, I see, oh, I've got these same ISO, front, and back views. And obviously I've got all those same settings, the same clip box, everything is the same. So you can open up these playback files in Newton, but for your clients or coworkers or bosses who might not have Newton installed or might not be able to access that USB license, they can still download a free version of Newton. On our website, we have a free version called Newton Viewer that you can download, and that's you can install that on any PC. All it requires is the same DirectX drivers as well as Microsoft .NET 2.0 or higher. But the point is, it's a small. I believe the install for the file is less than 10 megabytes. It's a tiny program, and you can give that along with the playback files. You can send that installation to your clients or your boss or your coworkers, and they can install and look at these files themselves. And that's one of the other things that makes the playback file so powerful, is that not only those paid subscribers can look at your playback files. Anybody who you send the file to can go ahead and install Newton Viewer and get this full 3D view. With the Newton Viewer, you can't create animations, and you can't look at plots, and you can't create the wear summaries. But all of the settings here are fully available, and they can do any of those. They can change any of the settings and set up their own clip planes. So I think that covers everything regarding the playback files. Actually, one other thing to note: in order to save a playback file, you don't have to be in the main UCM file. You can save a playback file from another playback file. So if I wanted to make more modifications to this and do whatever I wanted, I could then save another playback file from this playback file. It doesn't matter. So I think that covers everything, and if you have any other questions regarding the playback file, go ahead and send us an email at info@actek.com. Thanks.